Legitimate. To make something legal or acceptable. Authorized. Licensed. Reasonable. The government has a legitimate reason for imposing taxes. The company's advertising is legitimate and not misleading. The teacher will only accept legitimate excuses for being absent. Momentum. The force or speed of an object in motion. Frequency. Promptness. Progression. Keep your momentum going and push through the tough times. The campaign to reduce plastic waste is gaining momentum. They began to lose momentum in the second half of the game. Consensus. A generally accepted opinion. Agreement. Concurrence. Accordance. There was no consensus among the group about the best approach. The agreement only reached a partial consensus among the parties. Everything was up for debate, but we finally reached a consensus. Perpetual. Continuing forever in the same way. Everlasting. Permanent. Long-lasting. The perpetual cycle of supply and demand drives the economy. The perpetual motion of the river carried the boat downstream. The ants march in perpetual line, carrying food to their colony. Jeopardize. To cause something to be harmed or damaged. Endanger. Hazard. Imperil. Not being honest could jeopardize your relationships with others. Sharing personal information online could jeopardize your privacy. Failing to follow safety protocols could jeopardize the entire project. Manipulate. Control a person or situation cleverly. Manage. Maneuver. Control. People often manipulate the stock market for financial gain. She managed to manipulate despite the odds being against her. The dancer can manipulate her body to perform different moves. Exploitation. Unfair treatment of someone or a situation. Maltreatment. Swindling. Abuse. The exploitation of the environment can have long-term consequences. It's important to speak out against the exploitation of workers. We should always stand up for what is right and stop exploitation. Anomaly. Thing that is different from what is usual. Abnormality. Deviation. Exception. The magnetic anomaly was detected in the middle of the ocean. The child's congenital anomaly required immediate medical intervention. The doctor recommended surgery to correct the congenital anomaly. Litigation. The process of engaging in a legal proceeding. Lawsuit. Proceedings. Prosecution. The dispute between the two parties was resolved through litigation. The defendant was found guilty after a lengthy litigation process. The litigation process requires a lot of evidence and documentation. Obsolete. No longer used or needed. Outdated. Antiquated. Ancient. The physical book is becoming obsolete in favor of e-books. The rapid changes in technology are making some jobs obsolete. The invasion of new technology has made old devices obsolete. Undergo. Endure until something is complete. Endure. Experience. Encounter. Some people may need to undergo surgery to remove an ulcer. The athlete had to undergo conditioning before the big game. The country will undergo economic reforms to reduce poverty. Endorsement. A form of public support or approval. Sanction. Authorization. Backing. The celebrity's endorsement helped popularize the new product. The celebrity's endorsement deals are worth millions of dollars. Self-endorsement can be done in a humble and professional manner. Surpass. Be better or greater than something else. Exceed. Overrun. Be more than. The scientist hopes to surpass their previous research's findings. It's important to challenge yourself and surpass up to your limits. If you want to stand out, you must surpass the average student. Paragon. Someone or something that is the very best. Standard. Epitome. Perfection. The professor was a paragon of knowledge, with expertise in many fields. The lawyer was a paragon of advocacy, fighting tirelessly for justice. He was a paragon of loyalty, always standing by his friends and family. Drastic. Likely to have a strong or far-reaching effect. Desperate. Extreme. Forceful. The city's landscape has seen a drastic change through urbanization. In certain circumstances, it may be necessary to take drastic action. The family had to make drastic lifestyle changes to survive bankruptcy. Compensate. Give someone money in recognition of loss. Balance. Counteract. Neutralize. The warranty will compensate for any defects in the product. The factory will compensate their workers if they are hurt at work. The government will compensate the victims of natural disasters. Pivotal. Being of vital or central importance. Critical. Fundamental. Essential. The French Revolution was a pivotal moment in European history. The pivotal moment in the play was when the truth was revealed. Time management is a pivotal factor in avoiding procrastination. Repercussion. An unforeseen consequence of some action. Aftereffect. Outcome. Side effect. The scandal had negative repercussions on the politician's career. Not being kind to others can have a repercussion of losing friends. The teacher warned the students about the repercussion of cheating. Replica. To repeat or copy something exactly. Reproduction. Duplication. Imitation. The original copy of the painting was stolen, but a replica was made. It is a replica of the original ship that brought the Pilgrims to America. The history lecture used a replica of the evolution of warfare in the world. Inherent. Existing as a natural and permanent quality. Intrinsic. Natural. Immanent. The conflict was inherent between the two political ideologies. The risks are inherent in terms of investing in the stock market. The value of hard work is inherent in every dedicated student. Extinction. When all members of a particular group die. Obliteration. Ruination. Destruction. The extinction of certain species can be caused by climate change. The plant species is so rare that it is on the brink of extinction. The population of animals in a zoo can be protected from extinction. Inundate. Cover an area with a large amount of something. Submerge. Immerse. Overflow. The amount of research can inundate your critical thinking skills. Inundate yourself with different sources before writing a research paper. The amount of homework assigned can sometimes inundate students. Embargo. Impose an official ban on a country or commodity. Prohibition. Restriction. Boycott. The trade embargo has severely impacted the economy of the country. The embargo on oil exports caused a significant increase in fuel prices. The bad blood between the two countries led to a trade embargo. Myriad. Extremely great number of people or things. Countless. Innumerable. Manifold. The insects in the garden come in a myriad of shapes and colors. The art museum has a myriad of paintings and sculptures to admire. There is a myriad of different languages spoken around the world. Contradiction. Ideas in opposition to one another. Paradox. Incongruity. Dichotomy. The philosopher's theory was flawed due to its self-contradiction. The defendant's story was in direct contradiction to the evidence. It's a contradiction in terms to say you are vegan but you eat cheese. Exemption. Freedom from being required to do something. Release. Immunity. Freedom. The company applied for an exemption from the new regulations. Some religious institutions claim exemption from certain taxes. The exemption allowed the business to operate without a license. Paucity. A small amount of something is not enough. Scarcity. Shortage. Deficiency. The city was in a paucity of public parks for recreational activities. The school was in the paucity of qualified teachers in certain subjects. The paucity of information about the topic made it hard to research. Destitute. Lacking possessions and resources. Impoverished. Needy. Inadequate. The charity organization helped provide for destitute families. The volcanic eruption left many people destitute and without homes. The refugee camp was filled with destitute families seeking safety. Pressing. Desperately urgent. Dire need. Emergency. Imperative. The management of natural resources is a pressing global issue. The issues of climate change are a pressing concern for many nations. The jobless rate is a pressing issue that requires immediate attention. Distortion. Change something from its original condition. Deformation. Contortion. Falsification. Her account of the incident was a grotesque distortion of the truth. The distortion in the video made it hard to see what was happening. The distortion of the message in the text caused a miscommunication. Hypothesis. A proposition made as a basis for reasoning. Assumption. Supposition. Premise. A hypothesis is a way to make sense of complex phenomena. We should gather some data to support our hypothesis. The scientist made a bold hypothesis about the recent experiment. Violation. Action that breaks law and agreement. Infringement. Breach. Lawbreaking. The use of chemical weapons is a violation of human rights. The garment industry was found guilty of a violation of labor laws. The athlete made a disclosure about their doping violation. Anonymous. Having no known name or identity. Unidentified. Unknown. Unnamed. The person who left the message on the forum was anonymous. The identity of the anonymous donor was shrouded in mystery. The author wanted to remain anonymous to avoid unwanted attention. Competence. The ability to do something efficiently. Proficiency. Aptitude. Skillfulness. Less formally educated people can acquire professional competence. Typing is considered by most employers to be a basic competence. Gaining cultural competence can help you navigate diverse settings. Conundrum. A problem that is difficult to deal with. Enigma. Dilemma. Puzzle. The code was a conundrum that required trial and error to crack. The decision was a conundrum that required careful consideration. The math problem was a conundrum that required a lot of thinking. Eliminate. Completely remove or get rid of something. Eradicate. Exterminate. Remove. The uniform helps to eliminate distractions in the classroom. We can eliminate boredom by finding something fun to do. We must eliminate the divide between genders in the workplace. Correlation. A connection between two or more things. Association. Reciprocity. Interaction. There is a correlation between being creative and having fun. The data indicate a correlation between education and income. The study found a correlation between poverty and crime rates. Inference. Opinion about something based on information. Deduction. Presumption. Assumption. The linguist made an inference about the origin of the language. Look at the picture and make an inference about what's happening. The doctor made an inference about the patient's medical history. Hierarchy. System of organizing people into different ranks. Ranking. Class system. Social order. The fashion industry has a hierarchy of designers and models. The sports hierarchy is based on performance and achievement. The feudal system was a system of feudal hierarchy and power. Volatile. Likely to change suddenly and unexpectedly. Unpredictable. Unstable. Variable. The ever-changing stock market can be unpredictable and volatile. The global market for cash crops is highly competitive and volatile. The growth rate of the stock market has been volatile in recent months. Evolution. The gradual development of plants and animals. Progression. Growth. Development. Chromosomes can be used to track the evolution of species. Anthropology is concerned with human evolution and history. The process of evolution can be observed in living organisms. Framework. Basic structure underlying a system. Structure. Arrangement. Composition. The writer used a framework to outline the plot of the novel. The framework of the website was designed for easy navigation. The framework of a computer program is the code and algorithms. Empirical. Based on observation or experience. Practical. Experimental. Existential. The researcher collected empirical data through surveys and interviews. The study was based on empirical research conducted over several years. The empirical data revealed a correlation between education and income. Coping. Dealing successfully with difficult situations. Surviving. Managing. Dealing. The therapist will introduce a new coping mechanism for anxiety. She had to learn new coping mechanisms after a major life change. A psychologist can help you develop better coping mechanisms. Instinct. Natural tendency to behave in a particular way. Intuition. Inclination. Tendency. Copulation is a natural instinct that drives animals to reproduce. I always listen to my gut instinct when making important decisions. Animals have a natural instinct to protect their territory and family. Phobia. Intense and irrational fear of something. Dread. Obsession. Detestation. The fear of public speaking is real, and it's a common phobia. A phobia can be a hindrance to personal growth and development. A phobia can be overcome with the right treatment and support. Rigidity. The quality of being stiff, fixed. Firmness. Robustness. Sturdiness. To adapt to new circumstances, we need to evolve aside from rigidity. The rigidity of the company's policies caused high employee turnover. The rigidity of the political parties caused a divide in the country.